Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy Sainty DJ, and welcome back everybody to another episode on our survival world. So guys, today we are about to reach 500 days on this world, and so far it's been a bit of a journey and we are taking it fairly slow, so that's why we've only got one house kind of built up at the moment. But today guys, we are going to be building up a whole new house. So this new house is going to be on the opposite side of this existing house, and we are going to be needing to put in a bit of a road. So I think that's going to be the first thing on today's agenda. But we are going to be needing a bunch of materials, and the biggest material that we're going to be needing is wool. So we've got our sheep farm over here producing us the necessary material. So we have enough now. So I've been doing that off camera, and while I've been doing that, I have been able to put what I need to in the house and kind of start finishing off the house. This is mainly because we've had this house for now 4 episodes and it isn't even complete, and I really want to get this squared off considering we're going to be starting a whole new build. There are a few rooms left that we need to kind of complete, so whether this be a few interior little designs or actually getting the floor in. But besides that, the house is pretty much set and ready to go. So I'm just up in my man cave and we're just chilling, watching over the night sky. But anyway guys, enough about that. Let's get right into today's video. So the first material that we need to gather is stripped spruce log, and we have a bunch right here. But this is nowhere near enough. And instead of just destroying these trees and then replanting them, it's going to take a lot of time to do that. So I think it's best if we go to our spruce biome where we got them originally and harvest them all there. So off I went to the nearest spruce biome, which was only a couple hundred blocks away, but it was totally worth it for the amount of logs that we ended up getting. Now that we're here, it is time to start chopping down our first tree. There you go. So now with the spruce wood in, we got enough spruce planks and enough spruce wood for the build. And we've got all our glass, our wool, all ready to go. And yeah, it was good because we got all this off camera, which allowed us to work more on the base, as we said before. So I decided not to record that because that would have been very tedious, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't have want to seen that unless you did. Now the very last material that we need to get is deep slate. So we've already kind of dug out this sort of area to get a bunch of stone when we needed it early game. So we're going to continue just going down from here until we can hit deep slate level. We are going to also be going to try and strip mine some diamonds as well. So we're going to try and do a two birds one stone type deal. And now with this new enchanted pick, we should be able to break through things a lot faster. So I'm really excited to see how much we can get out with this pickaxe. So it ended up not taking long at all. So we gathered up the right amount of deep slate that is required for this build. So all that's left now is to do the building. However, I did promise to put in a road, and I did actually say that was the first thing we were going to do, but I think we've just been putting it off for too long due to the fact that we don't actually know what kind of style we want our road. See, there are many variations of roads across the Minecraft servers. I wanted to pick the right one that is for the city. Now, I've been taking a lot of inspiration from the actual Hollywood Hills in real life, as I've been basing my builds off of that. So we ended up creating many different textures, each one having some pros and cons. However, we brought it down to only 2 designs. So that was either the smooth stone or the concrete powder. And I think I've decided to go with the concrete powder. Now, there were many reasons why I chose the concrete powder over the smooth stone. I did really like the smooth stone as it had this coal feature. So if I was able to grab a silk touch pick, I would be able to turn or grab coal ore before it is mined, and this would have turned into a cool texture because it blends in with the road. However, with many pros, there are a few cons. As much as I did like the smooth stone style road, it did have an issue with its texture, where the stone didn't have a lot of variation in itself. So obviously I could use other blocks such as andesite to kind of make variation with it, but with the concrete powder, it had variation in itself and it looked so much better. And it kind of actually had that texture of a tar road. And I think that kind of was the deciding factor. I mean, obviously the concrete powder did look amazing, so that definitely pushed for it. And I'll show you in a sec. So we got, yeah, so it has very, very different variation in each block. So it won't be sitting next to a block of the same kind of texture. It has its own little variation, which I love. But in saying that though, even the concrete powder design has a bit of a flaw, and that is that it is very expensive to make. Just finding gravel and sand is very hard when you're nowhere near those biomes. So even just gathering sand for glass was a big, but I do like having that sort of challenge to go and gather those materials, because it means that we have more of a reason to go out and explore, and also to create farms to make it easier for us in the future. And seeing as though we're going to be using a lot of roads in the future, it is definitely going to be a farm that we do require very, very soon. Now, I do like having my roads 11 wide, as this leaves us enough room to put in cars and trucks. So it gives us 5 blocks per side, and the median can go down the middle here, and then on the left side we would have our white border. But on this type of road, because I looked at some map views of Hollywood Hills, and they don't actually have the median on, or the border on the end of the road. So I think that's common for residential areas. So we're going to keep going with that theme, and then this way our road won't be as big. Now that we got our road in, it is time to get started on our build. Ooh. Now that this build is complete, and it is looking amazing. I love the use of the andesite at the bottom, and we have our black wool and our stripped spruce wood that kind of just brings it all together. And I love the spruce fences between, so it gives it a bit of frame and a bit of depth to the build. But in saying that though, this build does have a function, or will have a function. We're going to be turning it into our wool farm. So we're going to use the garage and we're going to be putting in a bit of a sheep farm, so that way we can collect up all these different types of wool. And this is mainly because as we build more and more buildings, we are going to be needing more of this wool. And this build in particular was a great example, as it is quite a small build considering, but it used over 15 stacks of black wool alone. Now the first thing we've got to go and do is mob proof the crap out of this place. Oh, that is a lot of creepers. So this should have definitely been done. Now I think this is why, a great example of why we should definitely mob proof this base up. There you go, it's looking a lot better now that we got some torches in here. So let me just gather up all my stuff and let's get back to it. Now the first thing we've got to do is remove the dirt and place in a better foundation. And boom, the foundation is all sorted, but the contraption isn't going to be up here. It's actually going to be down here. So I'm just letting all the grass blocks fill out the dirt here, but basically on the 2x3s there, we're going to have sheep. So we're going to have 6 sheep, so 1 per block, and on this side too. So as you can see, we're going to have heaps of sheep. And so we'll probably do all white along this side, and then probably our light grey, grey, and black shades on that side. And this contraption wasn't made by me, it's made by a YouTuber named Voltix, and he has an awesome design, so you got to go check out his video because it'll give you a more detailed breakdown of what the contraption actually does and how it works. But for me, we're just going to do a little quick one. I've already seen the video, so I can quickly build it up. But basically, you're going to have sheep on, like I said, on each block here, and then we have dispensers with shears in it, and it's on a like a ticker, like a little timer. So every time it goes off, it'll shave the sheep. And then these torches apparently help grow the grass, which I did not know, so that's really cool. So it helps grow grass faster. And then yeah, so I find that very interesting, so I'm really keen about this one. And then what else do we have over here? I think that's really it. That's pretty much how it works. And then we're going to have glass, leaves, and then our hopper system coming up here. Now, it does go pretty high, but I think I've done it a bit too low. But besides that, we'll worry about that later. I think that should be fine for now. But right now, guys, we need to go and grab some sheep, because we did have our sheep farm over here. But no joke, I was in there earlier today and a creeper blew up our sheep farm. It killed every single sheep. We got a lot of raw mutton out of it though. So it's a win in some circumstance. So anyway, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to build it up a bit to the point where we can trap sheep in. And then I'm just going to go out, grab some and bring them back. So let's go do that right now. Now our farm is all completed. So we got 2 sides of this. So we got, I think it's 18 sheep on this side and 18 on the other. And it's already started bringing in the profits. So we got heaps of wool going at the moment and it is awesome. Only problem is it is really loud in here. The sheep aren't being very quiet. So unfortunately, it's just something that we'll have to suffer when we come down here, but lucky we won't be here that often, and the only reason we'll be down here anyway is to collect up the wool. So basically what the contraption does is the sheep at the bottom are pretty much encased with this glass, and in doing that, when the dispensers go off and shear them, the only way for the wool or the drop wool to go is up, and it'll hit the water stream, but it's a bit of a visual kind of bug at the moment where we can't see the water, but it goes on the water and then the water travels it through this hopper and then it comes through to this chest. So it's a very efficient farm considering how easy it was to make. It was a bit buggy at some points, but besides that, it works really nicely, so I'm really happy with it. And I hope you guys also love our new driveway here. I did some experimenting with polished basalt and stone, and I think it looks really nice. The only issue is once we get to the slab part, because I love elevation in the game. I think terraforming and all that works really well, and we're going to be doing a lot of it considering we're on a mountain, so there are going to be a lot of slopes and slabs. So unfortunately this is one of I guess one of the problems that comes with it, but that is fine. I'll take that as long as this looks good, which it does. And I hope you all did enjoy today's episode. I think that's where we're going to leave it. We did what we set out to do. We completed another build, and it's not fully done interior wise, but we're going to be doing that off camera. But besides that, we got our wool farm going, so it's going to be making our lives a lot easier. And yeah, I'm keen for next episode where we're probably going to be doing a bit of terraforming around here, adding some foliage and a few more trees. So anyway guys, I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.